fighters who in their last ring appearances decided matters with crisp right hands. But for the heavyweight, it came in round one. While for the junior welterweight, the climax waited until 2 seconds before the final bell. Tonight, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Julio Cesar Chavez and Mike Tyson, live on HBO.
Very wobbly in the center of the ring. Takes another right hander down, tries to fight off the ropes. Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
And right now, we are live as Trump Plaza plays host from the Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And HBO Sports presents World Championship Boxing. In our first fight, two-belt junior welterweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez defends his title against #1 contender Kyung-Duk An of Korea. The bout is scheduled for 12 rounds. And then in the main event, former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson takes on Alex Stewart. That fight scheduled for 10 rounds. The Atlantic City Convention Center, the expansive indoor arena which has been the site in the past of two of Mike Tyson's most memorable and explosive knockouts. In the summer of 1988, Michael Spinks went down in 91 seconds. A little more than a year later, Carl "The Truth" Williams was knocked out in 93 seconds. Now the former champion returns. And as a swirl of backroom politics rolled this sport into another bizarre chapter in its history, we take you to this 20-foot square ring. The only place where prize fights are won and lost. Tonight, Mike Tyson and a potentially tough opponent in Alex Stewart take matters into their own hands. And hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you back on HBO to the continuation of Mike Tyson's quest to regain the heavyweight championship he lost in February of this year to Buster Douglas in Tokyo. Working with me, as always, is HBO's boxing analyst, Larry Merchant, the noted sports journalist. And Larry, since his loss in Tokyo and his victory over Henry Tillman, Mike Tyson has had to endure the sight of watching the man who took his title away not just beaten, but thoroughly humiliated by the new champion, Evander Holyfield. What effect, if any, do you think that has on Tyson?
Well, practically the effect is he's going to have to wait at least 6 months longer to get a shot at the title, which has him seriously aggravated, and who knows what that'll lead to by next September or October. What I'm curious about is whether the swoon that Buster Douglas took in that fight somehow diminishes Tyson even further with his fans. It shouldn't, because he didn't lose to that Buster Douglas. He lost to the Buster Douglas who got in shape and was highly motivated. He lost to Mr. Hyde, not Dr. Jekyll.
What's at stake now for Mike tonight in a fight that almost everyone expects him to win easily against Alex Stewart?
Well, I think what's at stake here is for him to start to try to restore his sense of invulnerability and invincibility, which Douglas just demolished in Tokyo. And to do it against a young, strong heavyweight who was considered a legitimate opponent or perhaps a legitimate victim. Alex Stewart's mission is to try to exploit that new sense of vulnerability that people see in Tyson. That's what makes a fight.
So indeed, let's move on toward the next subject of the evening. If you're a boxing fan and you've been reading your newspapers, you're well aware there is again turmoil in the heavyweight division. To shed a ray of light on that volatile subject, we're going to revisit now some of the issues at hand and hear from some of the heavyweight principals. In the eyes of the boxing public, Evander Holyfield now rules as undisputed heavyweight champion. But will the World Boxing Council strip its belt away? To understand that question, you must first go back to last February in Tokyo. Buster Douglas went down in the 8th round and was granted a long count. At least that's the view of Tyson's promoter, Don King. Immediately after the fight, King registered his protest against this so-called injustice.
Everybody's seen the facts, and the facts are irrefutable and incontrovertible.
Now chaos ensued. The IBF immediately backed Douglas as heavyweight champion, but the WBA and WBC withheld their recognition until a public backlash forced those two sanctioning organizations to establish Buster Douglas as undisputed heavyweight king. Back in New York, Don King and Mike Tyson eventually followed suit.
There's never been a question from our side as to who the heavyweight champion of the world was.
And I respect the fact that the new champion won the title. But the only thing I'm saying, I wouldn't want the title on a change decision. You know what I mean? You win the title in the ring, you lose it in the ring, I believe. I'm just saying that Mike's not going on the deep end, he's not discouraged. The only thing I ask for is just a rematch, that's all. Simple as that. Once I get a rematch, I'll take care of everything from there. That's all I'm asking for the champion.
A rematch that wasn't to be. Buster Douglas gave the first shot to #1 contender Evander Holyfield, who ironically had waited more than a year for his opportunity. Don King, meanwhile, had collected letters from all three organizations stipulating that the victorious Evander Holyfield would have to fight Mike Tyson in his first defense. But Holyfield, his promoter Dan Duva, and manager Shelley Finkel had already signed Big George Foreman for April 19th. You're watching a man who has been known to knock opponents out with glancing blows. His hands are so heavy that what becomes a knockout punch doesn't always look like one, and Rodriguez goes down. When the Holyfield-Foreman fight was announced, both the WBA and IBF recanted their earlier mandates, but the WBC still hadn't sanctioned the fight.
All championships are won and lost in the ring. Nobody can take away from Evander Holyfield what he won in that ring, except the man to my right, George Foreman. Jose Suleiman may weigh as much as him, but he can't take it away from him. Only George Foreman can. But as far as the WBC is concerned, it's based on that phony argument in Tokyo that somehow Tyson was deprived of his just due. Somehow Buster Douglas didn't knock him out. Somehow something occurred there what the rest of the world didn't see. It's a phony argument, and we don't want to give it any more credence. We don't think it deserves any. And as far as we're concerned, this is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. The winner of this fight will be the undisputed champion until somebody's able to beat him.
Dan Duva went to court in New Jersey and was granted an injunction forbidding the WBC from stripping Holyfield. Jose Suleiman and the WBC countered with a request to have the entire matter sent to binding arbitration, both parties agreeing to abide by the decision. Duva and Holyfield have since accepted that offer. And as for Mike Tyson, he now sits and waits for the winner of Holyfield and Foreman. Or if the WBC does indeed strip Holyfield, there's talk of a Tyson fight with Razor Ruddock of Canada for the WBC crown. Stay tuned for the continuing saga of backroom boxing politics at their most familiar. And we bring you back live to ringside, where there is news on the heavyweight front today. Earlier we spoke to Holyfield's co-manager Shelley Finkel, who told us that WBC chief Jose Suleiman, in a bit of a surprise, had given to him, Finkel, to hold for Holyfield the WBC heavyweight championship belt. He gave it to him today. Finkel said he didn't place much importance on that, but he did say that he's totally confident arbitration will go in Holyfield's favor. What do you make of Suleiman handing over the belt to Shelley Finkel today?
I have no idea. What can you say about Jose Suleiman, who tells people still that he thinks that Mike Tyson beat Buster Douglas in Tokyo? This is all really unfortunate for Tyson, I think, because it gives the appearance that he's still trying to win outside the ring what he lost inside the ring. Mike Tyson should stay active, stay in shape. His turn is coming.
So what would the reaction of the boxing public be if, in fact, Suleiman and the WBC were to strip Holyfield of that title and set up a championship bout between Tyson and Razor Ruddock?
Well, it would be declared another in a long series of black eyes on boxing, and I don't think the public would, in the end, accept that as a championship fight.
All right, let's turn our attention now to the main event of the evening, the 40th professional bout of Mike Tyson's heavyweight career. Let's get ready now for a look at Mike Tyson against Alex Stewart. 1990 has been a difficult year for Mike Tyson. February 10, Buster Douglas knocks him out. The aura of invincibility is shattered. June 16, the one bright spot, a first-round knockout of a suspect opponent. August 30, Tyson takes 48 stitches over his right eye after a butt in sparring. The scheduled September 22 date with Alex Stewart is postponed. On October 25, the fallen champion is forced to sit by as his conqueror is disgraced by the new heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield. And now December 8th, Mike Tyson finally faces Alex Stewart. Will we now see the old fire of the champion whose power and hand speed ripped through the heavyweight ranks? And he's down again and in serious trouble.
Oh, he's just a minute.
It's funny.
That's a shot. That's the blow shot.
And
Beautiful shot.
Steele had seen enough. Or will this able opponent throw Tyson's career into a dramatic tailspin? Tonight, Mike Tyson's year comes to a close, and we get the answers to those questions.
Left hand sends Hearns back against the ropes again. Hander punishing Hearns now.
What an uppercut by Douglas, and down goes Tyson. We bring you back live to the Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey, as HBO Sports presents the main event. Former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson takes on top contender Alex Stewart. The fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. So now, with aspirations of fighting the winner of Holyfield and Foreman, Mike Tyson again takes center stage in this ancient facility. The night before a sellout crowd, Tyson faces a potentially tough test on his comeback trail. There may be no title on the line, but Mike Tyson provides an electric jolt to a fight crowd, a unique one. There's nothing quite like the feeling at ringside as you await the opening bell of a Mike Tyson heavyweight fight. And as I mentioned to you earlier in the broadcast, we at HBO Sports have covered Mike Tyson for the past 4 years, bringing you every one of his fights since before he won the heavyweight championship. We believe we have profiled him and reported on him in virtually every way, shape, and form possible through a relationship which has not always been completely friendly. In fact, we're in the middle of a period right now in which things are not all peaches and cream between our longtime colleague Mike Tyson and those of us at HBO. So with an eye toward that, we decided to look for fresh eyes and ears, an independent perspective on Tyson as we get ready for this look at him. And we have acquired the services of America's most provocative filmmaker, award-winning Spike Lee, who came to Atlantic City and went to Brooklyn also with a 35mm film camera to produce a profile of Mike Tyson for us. Spike, thanks very much for doing this. Welcome to our broadcast. What was your perspective and your intention as you began this project for us?
Well, what we wanted to do was just record what Mike and Don had to say. I felt that they would be very comfortable with us, knowing me, that they would let their defenses down, because a lot of times you have to be careful what the media's, or how the media's can portray them, and we just want to document that. And we just rolled the camera. That's what we did. We shot in 35mm black and white, and we approached it as if we were making a film.
You have said publicly that you regard yourself as a friend and a fan of Mike Tyson's.
Right.
Is this journalism or advocacy?
It's both. I'm not going to lie. I think that Mike and Don have got pummeled in the press a lot, and if I could help them, you know, to not really change their image, I think that there are a lot of people look at this piece and still not like them, but I think that they have to make up their own minds.
We're going to talk to Spike again after you have seen what you're about to see. But we want to make this clear that this was Spike's baby. We interfered in no way, shape, or form after we gave Spike the chance to bring a 35mm camera here and to Brooklyn for this profile of Mike Tyson.
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of anything. There's nothing that I'm afraid of, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm the individual that I am. You know what I mean? Like I said, I walk it like I talk it. From where I came from, I'm not supposed to even have made it. I'm not supposed to even be living.
My name is Victor Nelson.
So what's up?
Ain't nothing. Well, I live right here in 178, and I knew Mike for about 12 years, and grew up together.
What name is this?
This is Brownsville, Amboy. Yeah, he had to knock that punch ever since he was young.
You ever seen him knock somebody out on the street?
Yeah, I used to have him knock people out for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. But now he's getting paid to knock people out. That's good for him. I like that. That's my brother. Let's do the right thing. That's all he has.
How's Mike look?
Mike looks excellent. He's in good shape. Good frame of mind. If you don't stand for something, you don't live for nothing.
So he's ready, right?
He's been ready. Been sharp. He knocked out 3 sparring partners all in one day.
Couldn't hurt now.
Oh, man. They're changing him like, going in and out like a slot machine. But Joe Liz said you can run, but you can't hide. So all we got to do is bring the prophecy to those words to reality.
Ali got me into boxing. I was in Sparfield, that's a juvenile place in the Bronx. When Ali came up there, and when I saw him, I said, I want to be champion of the world. I want to be just like him. Everyone can't be Michael Jordan, a world heavyweight champion, all that, or else, a brain surgeon, which probably I could be, though. But, You could be a brain surgeon? I could spike, man.
Every ethnic group takes pride in their heroes. We have no heroes. Our heroes die. White heroes never die. They live infinitely. The John Waynes and the different things, but Marvin Gaye, one of the superheroes of our time, you don't hear about him, but Elvis Presley has earned more money in death than most niggas can earn in life. Mike Tyson is our hero. He's our knight in shining armor. When he strikes a blow for all those who are discriminated against, all those who are segregated against, all those who are the downtrodden, the underprivileged, and denied. He fights like a gladiator like our white brothers can appreciate. This guy comes to fight. He comes naked with his shoes on. He's a gladiator. He signifies what he's about.
I don't blame Holyfield and Buster Douglas for hating him, because I was taught to hate Don King when I was in the business. Everything's totally against us. We're 2 black guys from the ghetto and we're hustling, and they don't like what we're saying, you know what I mean? We're not like prejudiced, anti-white. We're just pro-black.
I love white people. I love them like they love me. Here you have a young man named Mike Tyson, who has been a very credible champion, a credible challenger, and now is waiting his turn again. What they're trying to do is to get a groundswell of public opinion to avert and circumvent ever fighting Mike Tyson. They want him, number one, to either defect from me, because he's being represented by a black man, or number 2, they want him to get frustrated and exasperated so that he will self-destruct. They always change the rules when black folks come into success. Black success is unacceptable. They say, oh, things are getting so much better for you. In 1849, they was hitting blacks on the head 100 times a day. In 1990, they hit them 48 times a day. Isn't it better? Oh, it's got to be better. You've saved 52 blows. You got to understand that white America has an uncanny way of making the victim the victimizer. Excuse me, master, for putting my head in the way of your club. Not that your club is brutalizing my head and putting hickeys on it. My head got in the way of your free swing and broke your shiny stick, and I want to apologize for that.
Cut this for a minute. The way people portray me in the press, those guys, they had the nerve, they'd be just like me. That are superstars, and regardless of their fields, they want to be able to say, the white man's kicking my ass, but they don't got the guts, The reason they don't got the guts because their minds have been suppressed, Like most fighters in general, when you think about the issue, they're whores to the system. They don't know. They have no concept of what's going on in the business. The only thing they know is put on gloves. Most fighters going to wind up broke, and that's something that's going to continue to happen as long as the game is here, because boxing is the only sport that's unorganized, You don't have to be a college professor, Guys, lawyers, get out of their field. They retire from their field, the law field, and come into boxing because they feel that's the easy way they can make a dollar, because they could pimp the fighters.
Speak up, Mike. We hear you.
Talking. We're going to play this game called basketball today, okay?
Right.
Most of you know how to play this better than me, so we're going to try to do something.
What you want me to dunk on your mama? You ain't dunk no boy. I know you a boxer, man. Do what you can do. Do it. Do. If I got to play, you want me to do? What you want me to do? What you want me to do?
Make this shot, you can have Michael Jordan.
All right. come my coach.
Trying to get some birds to come over here. They must not be hungry anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Feed the birds. This is fantastic. Another war, man, inside and outside the ring, but we shall continue to prevail. Working together works. Well, you and I together, undeniably, is a combination that's unbeatable. I love it when the Jews love the Jews. I think that's noble. Italians love Italians. When Irish love Irish. But when a nigga loves a nigga, it's an unpardonable sin. We can't be white. You're a nigga till you die. If you're a poor nigga, you're a poor nigga. If you're a rich nigga, you're a rich nigga. But you never stop being a nigga. And if you get to be educated, you're just an educated nigga. You understand? Depravity, poverty, ignorance, lecherousness, lewdness, evil. Everything that was negative and unholy was attributed to the black people, and everything that was holy and glorified was attributed to the white people. The money, the wealth, the power, and with the blacks is the powerlessness that we have to be able to deal with against the power. You got to understand that negative associations coupled with blackness is what make these things happen. It's been a condition of racism since this country was founded 400 years ago. Because working together works.
Go ahead. When I refused, you know what I mean, to be like the rest of the brothers, you know what I mean, they evaluate their success by how far they can get away from the other niggas. They say, well, ooh, I live in Beverly Hills, there's a number of white people around my neighborhood, so I know I'm successful. You know what I mean? That's cool, you know what I mean? If you want an ego, you want that on your address, you know, this is where I live, and you tell them go back. But go back to the neighborhood and tell the brothers, this is where I live at, man, come see me. You know what I mean? Don't just say, well, this is where I want to be and this is where I'm staying, I want to stay away, I want to meet the friends around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Because that's not reality. That's not reality at all. And reality, you know, it means a lot to me because I live it. I know who I am and I know what I represent. And I'm happy with myself, you know what I mean? I'm happy with who I am.
A provocative climax to a provocative look at Mike Tyson. HBO Sports prepares for the main event. Coming up, Mike Tyson's second assignment in the post-Tokyo era of his career against Alex Stewart, a man whose only professional loss was to the man who now holds the heavyweight championship, Evander Holyfield. And we bring you back live once again to ringside. I'm still joined by Spike Lee. And Spike, it was a fascinating piece. Now let me play devil's advocate with you on behalf of any of our viewers who might be a little bit confused. Mike Tyson and Don King have achieved identity, money, fame, power, status, most of the things that we think of ourselves as striving for in this commercial society. Why are they so angry?
Well, they think that they're getting the raw deal, that they haven't been betrayed correctly or truthfully in the press. And I have to agree with them. I think that any time when you're African American in this country and you achieve any level of success, people just come after you. I mean, they're beating on me now. I mean, they're killing David Dinkins in New York since he's become mayor. It just happens. I mean, we realize why it happens. So for me, it just rolls off my back. But I think that they've gotten a bum deal, Mike and Don.
Don King says that there are no black heroes in this nation. At the risk of sounding a little bit tokenist, aren't people like Michael Jordan and Bill Cosby and to a large extent Spike Lee treated as heroes by this society?
Well, I don't know if we'd be treated as heroes. I think that was a little exaggeration on his part. But when you go into history books, I mean, we can't even get Martin Luther King's birthday, in Arizona. So, I mean, that's a disgrace. So that's what he's talking about. I'm glad the commission NFL took the Super Bowl out of Phoenix.
What does Mike Tyson mean above and beyond any other American boxer to kids in the ghettos, in the inner city?
Well, I think that for any ethnic group, any time that when you're on the bottom rung of the ladder and one of your own is able to squeeze out that little hole, it gives you hope. And I think that that's what Mike Tyson has done with this. But I think the problem is that people get lulled into sleep. They think that because African Americans have Bill Cosby, Oprah Winfrey, Eddie Murphy, we go on and on, that means everything's okay. Because we have Prince and Michael Jackson, that everything's all right for black America. But those are a couple of people. There's 30 million African Americans in the country. Most of us are catching hell. So we can't look at the 1 and 2 success stories. People be able to sneak through the cracks.
Many thanks and welcome to HBO.
Thank you, Jim.
Larry Merchant, what do you think of that?
Boxing has seen snake oil salesmen of every size and shape and stripe and color, all with one consuming passion in life: to capture and then to keep money-making fighters. what Spike Lee showed us in part is that Don King does it by wrapping himself in the emotional flags of race and racial injustice. He has been pummeled, it should be pointed out, by black fighters like Larry Holmes and Buster Douglas and Tim Witherspoon, whom he promoted. Spike Lee also separated for us the Mike Tyson of past and the Mike Tyson of the present as a public figure. Mike Tyson used to be this troubled youngster who was saved from the streets and then nurtured and developed into a champion. Now Mike Tyson wants to tell us that you can get out of the kid can get out of the ghetto, but you can't get the ghetto out of the kid. And that's how he's going to recapture the heavyweight championship. And he just might do it. Finally, Spike Lee showed us that Mike Tyson throws as many bricks on the basketball court as he does in the ring. Here's a look at the man he's going to be throwing those bricks at tonight, Alex Stewart.
Dawn in the Catskills. Here the winter frost has yet to paint its inevitable chilling picture on this town's splendid canvas. And for one man who rises each and every morning to nature's silent sights and soothing sounds, this is a pensive time, a time to reflect on the opportunity that lies ahead.
The only thing I really see is me beating Mike Tyson. It's just like a dream just keeps on coming. Just like climbing a mountain, you gotta work you up to the top. And when you reach there, you're on top of the mountain. I'm thinking Mike Tyson is the mountain. I have to climb all over.
For Alex Stewart, the journey toward the top has been perilous. Despite his impressive record, many felt Stewart wasn't much more than a spoon-fed fighter. But that all changed the night he fought Evander Holyfield. After a brilliant performance in a losing cause, the English-born Jamaican was finally able to silence the skeptics. The Holyfield loss earned Stewart the respect of the boxing community and a chance to climb into the ring with Mike Tyson, one step closer to a shot at the heavyweight title. But first, tragedy would knock on Stewart's door. Just 3 months prior to the scheduled date with Tyson in September, Alex suffered a personal loss when Mike Jones, his co-manager and close friend, died unexpectedly from cancer. Jones's death would act as an added incentive for the young heavyweight, who would set out to prove that his manager's dreams weren't in vain.
Mike Jones' spirit's always gonna live on with me. Regardless, win, lose, draw, whatever, he'll always be with me. The only way they remember him is through my performance and how he's worked to get me this far. I think everybody has worked to get me where I am, but I think the rest of my team are here and he's not here. And I think this will give him plenty of joy just to know that I did all I could do.
For his late manager, he would push his body to the limit. In training for Tyson, Stewart felt he had never been more focused and diligent. That was until 2 weeks before the fight, the night he got the news that Tyson had suffered a severe cut over his eye. The cancellation was a crushing blow to Stewart and his camp.
It hurts in a way we can't explain. Here I was psyched up mentally and physically to fight this little guy. And here I am getting ready. And all of a sudden he gets caught. You know, I'm just about a week before I'm ready to leave for Atlantic City. Do the last 2 weeks of my training. I'm prepared, the technique and everything I want to do. And all of a sudden, it's changed.
He was totally devastated. When I walked into his room, he sat there and wept and sobbed for quite a substantial period of time. It's as if you were trying to climb a mountain and the summit was in view and you had to withdraw.
In time, that frustration would subside. Realizing that life is too short and opportunities are oh so fleeting, Stewart forced himself into the gym and refocused on the one man who stood in his way. Alex Stewart believed he had worked too hard, sacrificed too much, come too far to accept anything less than victory.
Everybody thinks of this as like 2-3 years, my fighting career, you know. I think of it since I've been 9, you know, I've been fighting. And right now, only one person standing in my way. I mean, this will put me what I've been working for since I was a little kid. I mean, this is what I've dreamt about, being in a major fight where the opponent is just as good, and you just have to have that little edge.
Like all worthwhile pursuits, boxing offers its practitioners no guarantee of success, only the chance to fulfill a dream. Tonight we'll see whether Alex Stewart's lifelong dream comes true as he searches for that little extra, which he hopes will set him on a path toward a rematch with Evander Holyfield. We bring you back live, and we are ready now for Alex Stewart, a man who has lost only once in 27 professional fights, to leave his dressing room and make his way through this crowd to the ring.
And that is Angela Stewart, his wife. She's at ringside. She will not stay at ringside. When Alex Stewart gets to the ring, he will throw her a kiss, and she will flee out the front door onto the boardwalk up to her hotel suite, where she will watch the fight on television, as has been her custom in the past.
You saw Stewart's rankings, two of the governing bodies putting him up there at 4th, right up in the same neighborhood with Tyson and Holyfield and Razor Ruddock. All of his 26 wins by knockout. Indeed, Mike Tyson has fought two of the shortest bouts in heavyweight championship history here.
Yeah.
And here may be a fitting opponent, because Alex Stewart has never gone farther than 8 rounds, and 24 of his fights were 4 rounds or less.
And he's sweated up nicely, because he has a bit of a reputation of starting slowly, although he throws an awful lot of punches in early rounds. And again, as with the Douglas in Tokyo, he's running to the ring to meet Mike Tyson.
And you saw the nervous Angela Stewart, Alex's wife, as she prepared to try to make eye contact with her husband and then leave ringside. 5-year-old daughter Tennille Stewart is a little bit more resistant to the ravages of this experience than her mother. She stays to watch Dad fight. Although maybe not tonight. It's a little late for a 5-year-old.
There is Stewart's record. And one cautionary note, he has gotten his shot on the basis of a loss, however brave that loss was.
Well, from rounds 2 through 5 in the bout against Holyfield, he was the superior fighter, landing more blows, throwing more blows, and generally dominating the action against Holyfield. Holyfield reversed the tempo in round 6, took advantage of a cut over Stewart's eye, which had resulted from a second-round headbutt, and progressively opened the cut to the point where the bout was stopped in round number 8.
There you hear a roar, which means that here comes Mike Tyson. It's a tribute to Tyson, incidentally, that despite what happened in Tokyo, he has filled this building with about 16,000 people. Aren't many fighters out there who can do that. Certainly no non-champions.
Indeed, Mike will tell you in no uncertain terms that he's still the main man in the heavyweight division where ticket sales are concerned. He suggests that neither Holyfield nor Foreman, and certainly not Razor Ruddock, could ever dream of selling as many tickets or as many pay-per-view subscriptions for a fight as can he.
Well, he's likely to be proven wrong on that when Holyfield does fight Foreman. But suffice to say, he is still a major attraction. Ringside seats here, incidentally, are just $400, a fraction of what they've been in the past for him. There are some consequences to losing.
Tyson's last fight, 2 minutes and 47 seconds against Henry Tillman, the man who had beaten him twice back in the amateur ranks. In that mob surrounding Mike are all 3 of the trainers now enlisted in Team Tyson: Aaron Snowell, Richie Giacchetti, whom you'll remember from his long tour of duty with Larry Holmes, and Jay Bright. The 3 of them nestled just behind the fighter as they make their way toward the ring.
Looks like a T formation with a flanker, Jim.
That's right. Mike's playing quarterback. Aaron and Richie are the halfbacks, and Jay Bright is dropping back as a fullback into a sort of short punt formation at this point. will emerge into the ring where most of the crowd will get its first look at it.
What he's wearing is a torn towel. And there you see the record.
38 wins, the 1 loss to Douglas in Tokyo. This the 40th bout of Tyson's professional career. His knockout percentage with 34 KOs is high, but not the highest in the history of the sport. And there goes Angela.
Tyson looks a little fitter. I like Mike Tyson when he looks small, when he looks like a big middleweight or a light heavyweight. So let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
And you can see that the big disparity there is in height. Stewart 4 inches taller than his opponent. He has an 8-inch reach advantage. Tyson at 217 3/4 looks to most observers here to be splendidly trained, in terrific shape.
And the punch stat numbers. There you see what Tyson did against Douglas. But look what Stewart did against Holyfield. 81 punches around, an amazing number of punches for a heavyweight.
Rules for the bout, New Jersey's rules. 3 judges scoring the fight, 10-point must system, standing 8 count in effect, 3 knockdown rule in effect. Neither fighter can be saved by the bell. So right now let's go up to the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Don King Productions, in association with the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino here on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, present the featured bout of the evening. In attendance here at ringside tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our host, a man who's brought 50 championship bouts to Atlantic City in the last 4 years, Mr. Donald J. Trump. And in the ring at this time, the promoter for tonight's great event, and many others through the years around the world, Mr. Don King. This bout is sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. All the officials shall remain the same except the judges assigned at ringside for this bout. They are John Stewart, Rocky Castellani, and Eugene Grant. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble! 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. The referee for this bout is Frank Cappuccino. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with gold trim. He weighed in at an even 218 pounds. He's originally from England, but now lives and fights out of Brooklyn, New York. His professional record, an unbelievable one, 26 victories, all 26 by knockout, only 1 defeat. He's the number 4 ranked heavyweight in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex the Destroyer Stewart. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks, weighing 217 3/4 pounds, from Catskill, New York. Also an unbelievable record, 38 victories. 34 by KO, only 1 defeat. He's the number 1 ranked heavyweight in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Good evening, gentlemen. You're both given your instructions by the New Jersey Control Board. Protect yourself at all times.
Like you, baby.
Both your sweats gloves. Come on, come on.
Come on, baby. That's right, baby.
The question, as in all Tyson fights, can the opponent maintain his poise in the face of Tyson's quickness and menace? Or will he retreat
Stay in the corner, Alex.
into self-defense?
Stay in the corner, Michael.
Stewart has stated categorically that he knows he needs to keep throwing punches to try to keep Tyson occupied. If he stops throwing, he'll be dead. Tyson lands a right and another. This could be quick.
I was afraid of a 30-second sound bite.
All right, man? Okay, let's go.
Remember, Stewart never went down against Evander Holyfield. A Shot to the body, another solid right hand. Stewart begins to throw as a means of trying to defend himself. That'll be called a slip. And Mike is a little wild as he goes for the kill.
A good right hand that hurt Stewart again, but Stewart is still upright.
That was a flush right hand.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
He's up just at the count of 9, Jim.
How you feel, man?
Taking
Okay,
a good
you
look
wanna
is
continue?
Cappuccino. He's going to let him go. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. If Stewart goes down again, it's over. And Stewart has quick throwing punches. You can see how wobbly his legs are. If he makes it through 1 minute and 20, it'll be a small miracle.
Let him go, come on. Stop punching.
That was a worthwhile grab. Tyson missed with a left that would have done it.
He's very calculating now, Tyson.
2 more right hands land.
All right, Alex, let him out, Alex.
Stewart must land something or else it's just a question of a few seconds.
That'll do it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
They're
7,
forgetting that the 3
8.
knockdown rule is in effect. This fight is over.
Well, Stewart said that Tyson was a mountain he had to climb. He just got knocked off that mountain. He just didn't have the style, Jim, unlike Douglas, to test the vulnerability of Tyson.
Yeah, he's not nearly the technician that Douglas was when Douglas was good in Tokyo.
Early in the fight, Douglas tied Tyson up. He used his jab. He survived and then determined the pace of the fight.
Nothing about him. You stay right there for a minute. Let me take a look here. He got caught in the early part. The first fight, first punch. You know how many times you got knocked down? 3 times. 3 times. The first time, right? You remember the first one? Yeah. Yep. Okay. Now, do you think you can stand up now? Just stand up for me. Put your feet together as you stand up. Put your feet. All right. No, I'm just holding you to see if you're gonna fall. Put your feet together. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Okay, let him go.
And here's the first of the 3 knockdowns. You look at Tyson moving in with controlled fury, and the right hand puts Stewart down. Stewart was able to get up at the count of 5. Now we'll take a look. Is this the first knockdown again? Yes, it is. Another angle.
The winner.
The right hand to the top of the head was the one that put Alex down. That knockdown occurred within the first 10 seconds of the round.
Champion, Jose.
Now we'll take a look at knockdown number 2. By this time, Stewart still wobbly from the first knockdown, and he went down without Mike having to land a crushing blow. Another look at knockdown number 2. And you can see that the right hand simply glanced off the top of Stewart's head, but it was enough to put down a very wobbly fighter at that point. And now here's a third look at that same knockdown, knockdown number 2. The left to set it up, the glancing right off the top of the head. And Stewart down for the second time in the round. Still more than 1 minute 40 seconds remained in the round at that point. And with the 3 knockdown rule in effect, it was up to Stewart to try to stay on his feet to make it through round number 1. He was not able to do it. Here's knockdown number 3, which came at 2 minutes 27 seconds of the first round. A right and a left, and that was enough for Alex Stewart. Referee Frank Cappuccino began the count, which was academic at that point because of the 3 knockdown rule. Another look at the 3rd knockdown. Solid left to the side of the head, but by that time it was the accumulation of punishment throughout the round which contributed to Stewart's demise. So Mike Tyson, in his 3 fights in this particular ring, his last 3 fights, I should say, in this particular ring, has a 91-second knockout, a 93-second knockout, and this one, 147 seconds. 3 first-down knockouts in his last 3 appearances here in Atlantic City for Tyson. Punch stat statistics for the 1 round in the fight. Tyson threw 46 and landed 21. Stewart given credit for having landed 4 punches. He stopped punching somewhere early in the 2nd minute of the round and simply tried to survive from that point on with the by now obvious result. So this crowd remains on its feet. Almost everyone still here in the arena as they await the official announcement. And we wait to see if well, they've gotten the official announcement. I was looking at replays, and I'm told now that the official announcement has already been made by Michael Buffer. And we wait now to see if we'll get a chance to talk with Mike Tyson about this, the 39th victory of his professional career.
Yo, Mike. What's up, my man? Huh? Hey. Mike. Yo, Mike. Yo, this is Tyson.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be back. Iron Mike Tyson, 227 in the first round.
And here comes Mike Tyson to join us now at ringside. Congratulations on victory number 39. You came out with fury, to say the least. Knocked him down in the first 10 seconds of the round. If I can get you to turn toward the camera a little bit, Mike, how important was it to you to score a first-round knockout tonight?
Well, I mean, I knew he was a dangerous fighter once he got warmed up. And my objective, I was in great shape. He used to go in there and put the pressure on him for 10 rounds. I knew I had to break him eventually.
You appear to be in sensational condition. Do you feel considerably differently now than was the case 10 months ago in Tokyo?
Absolutely, because my mind is more prepared. You know, I mean, that's what basically the whole standpoint came down to, is being prepared mentally.
How does your situation compare now to what most people would regard as the peak of your career when you knocked Spinks out here in 91 seconds?
Well, you know, I mean, I didn't feel like it was a sensational night tonight, because there's things that I know that I did that was mistakes. So, you know what I mean? A good fight, and I'm in good shape. And I just like to thank all my fans on HBO that's been supporting me. But I just like to say this is my last fight on HBO. It's because HBO, they think that you'd rather see Holyfield than me. Thank you for supporting me. I love you all. Bye.
Mike, one final question. How important at this moment is the coming arbitration with regard to the WBC championship and the possible WBC title fight with Ruddock?
Well, it really don't matter as long as I can fight for the title. I love to fight Ruddock. I want to show everybody he's not the baddest man in the world they once said he is.
Would you rather fight the winner of Foreman Holyfield?
Excuse me?
Would you rather fight the winner of Foreman Holyfield?
I would fight anyone. You know what I mean? But I'm fighting for the moment. It looks like Ruddock might be in the wings, and I'm looking forward to fighting Ruddock.
Can you elaborate on why you feel you've been treated unfairly by this network, which will state that it has 2 offers on the table for you for long-term deals?
I have no comment. I don't want to talk about the company know what they did. And I'd like to say hello to all my troops again that have been supporting me. I'm out of here.
We've enjoyed covering you. Thank you very much. We don't negotiate on the air. Our chief executive, Seth Abraham, will have plenty to say in the future about the potential for another Mike Tyson deal at HBO. It has been our hope for the past year that we could complete one more deal to give a long-term contract to Mike Tyson and to continue to cover his fights here on HBO. But there'll be no negotiation on the air. That will take place between Don King and Seth Abraham. We're grateful that Mike was willing tonight to come and speak to us at ringside in the midst of what is, quite candidly, a frosty period between us and him and his promoter, Don King. So Mike Tyson has the 39th victory of his career, the 19th first-round knockout of his career, And this is a look at the quickest KOs of Tyson's career. Of course, there was the 30-second destruction of Marvis Frazier in upstate New York. And the rest of those first-round destructions against journeyman fighters going on toward the 91-second knockout of Spinks and the 93-second knockout of Carl the Truth Williams. Once again, there have been 19 first-round knockouts among Mike Tyson's 39 career victories. And he takes another step toward reestablishing the kind of preeminence he enjoyed in the heavyweight division prior to the Buster Douglas upset in Tokyo 10 months ago. So as we look back once again, we'll take another observance of the last 2 knockdowns, which led to this 3-knockdown rule first-round knockout for Mike Tyson. Alex the Destroyed Stewart has the second loss of his career, and Tyson puts himself in good company as both of Stewart's losses have come against heavyweight champions. One to Evander Holyfield, and now this one to Mike Tyson. Of course, Holyfield was not champion at the time at which he beat Stewart 13 months ago. Here was the finishing touch. Solid left hook there. Tyson landed several blows in the round which appeared more effective than the ones which contributed directly to knockdowns. So you have to believe it was the accumulation of punishment throughout the round which was ultimately decisive in the fight. Crowd was on its feet throughout the round from the moment that Tyson put Stewart on the canvas in the first 10 seconds. That was the end, and the count was, as I mentioned before, academic, as at this moment, by virtue of the 3-knockdown rule, it was over. So Tyson continues to celebrate, and we go into the ring as Larry Merchant has Alex Stewart.
Alex, you've had a chance to watch those knockdowns. You describe what happened.
Just get caught early, that's all.
Were you stunned from that first knockdown? Did you ever recover during the round?
Just caught me, that's all. It's one of those things. You get caught early, you know, that's what happened.
What didn't you do that you wanted to do?
Well, what I wanted to do is move around a lot more and hit more on target, but see, I missed a lot.
What is it like in there with this Tyson who seems very quick and even skillful in the bombs he's throwing?
Just I didn't get off, that's all. Just didn't get off, that's all.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.
Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Larry. Well, you've often heard Larry Merchant describe boxing here on HBO as the theater of the unexpected. Tonight, it was theater of the expected, as the 2 great fighters on the card, Julio Cesar Chavez and Mike Tyson, both scored easy, early knockout victories to continue to enhance their credentials. Chavez, as he moves back toward a rematch with Meldrick Taylor, a reprise of maybe the greatest competitive battle of 1990. Tyson, as he tries to move back toward his heavyweight title, the way he sees it, the one he lost in Tokyo 10 months ago. The future unclear for Mike at this point. Maybe he waits for the winner of Holyfield versus Foreman. Maybe he goes on to a bout with Razor Ruddock. Maybe there will be another opponent in between as he waits for the Foreman-Holyfield winner. Right now, we get ready to look back at what happened this evening. A final look at both of these battles. Julio Cesar Chavez defeating Kim Dukan with a 3rd-round technical knockout. Chavez had knocked On down twice previously in the bout before putting him away in round number 3. And as you can see, it was in effect a retirement as On decided he had had quite enough. And then Mike Tyson defeated Alex Stewart with a 1st-round TKO. Based on the 3-knockdown rule, Tyson knocking Stewart down in the first 10 seconds of the fight and going on to put him down twice more en route to his 3rd consecutive 1st-round knockout in this particular building. And I'm rejoined at ringside by Larry Merchant, who gets a chance for his final comments on this evening. Larry?
Well, we used to describe Mike Tyson as a sort of force of nature, like a storm. But even storms blow out to sea and lose their force, and then they regroup and they become storms again. And maybe that's what's happening with Mike Tyson. Perhaps he's the sort of personality who will drive harder and stay in better shape when he's pursuing the title than when he has the title. But we still have to wait for him to fight a more meaningful opponent, someone who has either more skills to try to frustrate him or more power to make him think twice before he charges in as recklessly as he did. But for tonight, Mike Tyson did what he wanted to do. He wanted to look impressive. He wanted to beat Stewart in a much more decisive, explosive, exciting fashion than the current champion Evander Holyfield did. And for him, it doesn't get much better.
And maybe the next fight will be against Ruddock. We should mention, incidentally, that on the undercard here this evening, Razor Ruddock scored a first-round knockout of his own over a journeyman fighter named Mike Rouse. Stay tuned to see what happens next in the heavyweight division. We'll see you next on January 19 from this same arena when WBA World Welterweight titleist Aaron Davis defends that title against Meldrick Taylor, moving up in class. Coming up on HBO, be sure to stay tuned immediately following this boxing coverage for a special presentation of The Edge, Professional Man, followed by Dirty Harry on the East Coast and Batman on the West Coast. All of those programs to be seen in their entirety. And we remind you to tune in each week for Inside the NFL. Hosts Len Dawson, Nick Buonaconti, and Chris Collinsworth take you right through Super Bowl 25 with pro football's most informative hour, premiering every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time right here on HBO. So now for Larry Merchant, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Atlantic City, New Jersey. The executive producer of HBO Sports and producer of tonight's telecast was Ross Greenberg. Tonight's doubleheader directed by Mark Payton. The feature producers, Spike Lee and Michael Whalen. Associate director, I should say, Dave Harmon. Assistant to the producers, Kendall Reed and Kirby Bradley. Production manager, Russell Gabay. The technical supervisor was George Wenzel. And the technical director was David Massa. Presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.